Hi, I'm Jim Beerbaum. I work at Birkey's Farm Store in Urbana, Illinois. I've worked here for about 8 years. One of my main jobs is to do custom maintenance inspections on combines. We do CMIs for reduced downtime, reduce maintenance costs throughout the year. We get a lot of questions what actually is in a CMI. In this video, I'm going to show you what we do in a CMI on a combine. First thing we do at the combine CMI is we take the machine outside, run all functions, feeder house, separator, run the auger, make sure everything works properly and no extra noises that shouldn't be there. First thing we look at is the feeder house. We check adjustment on the chain, check for bent feeder slats, check chain, make sure it's not stretched. We check bearings, sprockets, stripper plates at the top, reverser, rock trap. We make sure there's no bent bars. We check the rock trap drive chain. Next, we move around to the rotor. We look at the concaves, make sure there's no bent bars, no bent concaves. We check the rasp bars, make sure the rotor's balanced. We remove the rasp bars, clean out foreign material. If it's broke, we weld it up. Look for cracks and breaks in the rotor cage and modules. After that, we look at the grain pan, make sure to look for cracks, debris built up on it, and clean that off. Look inside for bent fingers missing on the grain pans. We look at the sieves, make sure they adjust, make sure they function, make sure they don't have anything in them, like cobs, leaves, material. We look at the cleaning fan, we take the belt off, spin it, make sure the bearings sound good, make sure it works, high and low RPMs on the fan. Then we move around to the discharge area, which consists of the straw chopper, the spreaders. We check the bats, we check the spreader bevel gears, we check bearings for looseness. In the chopper, we check stationary knives and rotary knives to make sure they're not missing or it's out of balance. After that, we move around to the grain elevators and the tailings, the clean grain and the tailings. We check the paddle chains, check chain tension, missing paddles, bearings, sprockets worn out, augers worn out on the bottom. After that, we move up top. We check inside the grain tank for even wear on the unload augers, holes in the grain tank, vertical augers, out augers, bent tubes, dented tubes, grain savers on the end of the auger. We check that. Electrically, we get in the cab, we check the lights, we check the hazard lights, check all functions of all electrical things on the right-hand multi-function handle, make sure everything works, windshield wipers, radio, air conditioner, all that kind of stuff. Anything electrical switch in the cab we check to make sure it functions. While we're up top on the engine, we check obviously engine oil level, we check air filters, we check for oil leaks on the oil pan, fuel leaks on the fuel system, and for exhaust leaks on the exhaust system. With the CMI, we adjust all belts and chains. We clean the radiator, run the machine, change all filters on a combine, air and otherwise. Fluids we change are the engine oil, the Hitran in the reservoir, the PTO gearbox, the transmission, and the final drives. We also wash and clean wash the windows and clean the cabs out when we're done. When we get finished with your CMI on your machine, we give you a call, let you decide what you want to fix. We recommend what you should keep an eye on, what to look at.